Right then, welcome back. I've got a new system. And it's a pretty good one, but it's one I've had before. The condition is completely screwed. It's dirty, it's even broken a little bit to the side, but it was really cheap, and it came with a stack of games, 14 altogether, varying condition, and yeah, some are good in terms of quality of the game, and some are downright rubbish. But they came with it. It was all under $40, which is around about 28 quid, give or take. So with that said, I think it was a bargain, and I had to do it. I will probably have to buy another one, because like I say, it is a little bit mangled. But for a starter, you know, just to get me back into the system, you can't complain. So yeah, without revealing yet what it is, I did first play this in around about 1990, and my cousin brought it round. And he loved it, and there were some great games. Again, I won't name any, because it'll instantly make it obvious what the system is. But it was great. But back then, you know, when we're kids, and we've kind of got our systems already, and when we're exposed to another one, then we like it, you know, we kind of want one, but there's a realisation that we're not going to get it because we don't have the money. Whereas, as adults, our income is far more disposable, and we can go out and get what we want pretty much when we want. So back then, you know, I had my, I guess, Atari ST, still had my Amstrad, and even though I enjoyed this, or playing on my friends and my cousins, I didn't really want one, it didn't really cross my mind. But I did get one in 1993, and I love the console, I really do. And I built up a massive collection of games, many of which are still back in the UK. But the dilemma that I'm faced with is obviously, if I import them all to America, it's going to cost a lot of money, and I don't really want to do that. So as a result, my only other option was to get an American console. But I didn't want to do that initially, because all my memories, and many of you will realise and know that I'm a very nostalgic, overly nostalgic person. And so I think PAL games, PAL systems, they mean far more to me, because that's what I had back then as a kid. And I didn't want to get this because it's kind of completely different. But I looked at the price, I looked at the games, and I thought, you know what? Let's just pick it up. What's the worst that can happen? You know, that I don't like it, and I've got to get PAL. And if that's the case, then fair enough, I will investigate, you know, the fact that, you know, shipping costs and all the rest of it to bring my PAL stuff over. But I just think it's the best thing, for now, just to get the American system and games. It makes a lot of sense, financially as well. So anyway, it is a bit knackered. I will show you the damage, and it's pretty bad. But it works. That's the thing about these old robust machines, that you can chuck them off a big building, and they'll probably still work. And it is, as you can even hear the rattle, unbelievable. It's a Sega Genesis. Now look at the damage there. So someone's obviously whacked that or dropped it. And it is a little bit dirty, you know, all around. It definitely needs a clean up. It only arrived yesterday. I've just quickly powered it on, played one game, or 10 minutes of it anyway. And it was alright, not as good as I thought it would be. But yeah, so I'm really pleased to get this, because the library of Genesis, I'm going to struggle to call it that, Mega Drive for me, quite frankly. But still, whatever. The library of Mega Drive or Genesis games is absolutely extraordinary. And quite clearly, you know, I'm not going to go for full collections, he says. But, you know, I have wanted to pick one up for a while, and I just felt that by, you know, sticking to, you know, my insistence of wanting PAL, I thought it was a little bit stubborn and a little bit silly under the circumstances. So I've gone for the Genesis, I've got it, it came with 14 games altogether, and I'm pleased to have it, I really am. Now what I'm going to do now, I'm going to switch the camera around like I usually do, and I'll go through all of the games. Like I say, the condition varies, some are kind of missing instructions, front cover is a little bit mangled on some of them, but, you know, there's many games which are really good and I'm really pleased to have, so, yeah, I'll show you what they are. Okay, so, as you can see, a bit of a close-up of the Mega Drive there. Got a little bit of a stain, but that should come off fine. And at the side there, the panels, battered. So that's a little bit disappointing. But like I say, it was really cheap. And apart from that, yes, you know, it does have a bit of dust and all the rest of it. But it's, you know, it's in decent condition, so I can't really complain for the price. You know, $40, like I say, and it came with 14 games, all of varying quality. But still, I'm pleased to have it. I still prefer the name Mega Drive. I think I always will, quite frankly. But anyway, I digress. So, the first game up, there's no point showing you inside and all the rest of it. I'll just show you maybe the front and the back. First game up is Outrun. So yeah, really pleased to get this. Bit of a classic. And I'm looking forward to playing it. And I guess there's a side as well, just in case you want to see that. That's the first one. Next one up is Tasmania. Yeah, I'm really pleased this was part of the bundle, actually, because I do have good memories of this. It was one of the games my cousin had before I got my Mega Drive, and I just thought it was a really good platforming game. So, yeah, that's that one. By the way, some of these come with instructions, most of them do, but some of them don't. Next one is Toe Jam and Earl in Panic on Funkatron. Stupid title. So, yeah, there's the side, there's the back. Now, I know we've all got a little bit of plastic damage there, but yeah, I know we've all got our different tastes, but for me personally, I don't like the red. Again, it's probably just the nostalgia for the PAL and the blue spines, but it doesn't look too bad. It looks better than I thought, but I do still prefer the blue. Speaking of the red though, here's another one. The Lion King. Another platformer, so I'll be interested to see how this plays. And you know what, I don't feel too embarrassed buying these games, because you've got to remember that when I was a kid, that's when these games came out, so it makes me feel, I say a kid, I mean, what was I, 15, 16, 17? A young man then, shall we say. So yeah, I don't mind doing that, whereas today I'd feel a bit of a tool buying The Lion King on the PS3. Anyway, next up is Sonic the Hedgehog. Bit of damage there at the top, but it's not the end of the world. You know, it's a classic game, and I'm just really pleased to have it in the collection. So, I do have it on the PS3, you know, on that, what is it, the Genesis Best of Game, Ultimate Genesis or something, whatever it's called. I've got that, and it is good, but it'll be nice to play it on the real deal. Next one up is Sonic 2. There's the side, there's the back, and there's the front. As you can see, they didn't tell me about that. They kind of deviously had them all stacked like this, so it just looked as if there wasn't any damage. But of course, when it arrived, and you see that, it's a shame, but it's not the end of the world. Next up, we've got World Series Baseball, again with a red spine. There's quite a few of these, actually. There's the side, and the back, and it actually does look quite good. I mean, I'm not a massive baseball fan whatsoever. I've been to a few games, but the graphics, it looks really bright, vibrant, and sunny. It's incredible how they've captured that, especially for a 16-bit system. So I'll put it on out of curiosity, but it's not really my thing. Next up is Miss Pac-Man, where some moron has cut the side down there. I'll never know why people do things like this. But there's the side, and there's the back. So yeah, I'll be looking forward to playing this. Old school fun at its best, really, isn't it? Leaderboard Golf. Again, the side and the back. It looks alright. And we've got an interesting one here. Now, when I knew I was getting this, when I knew I'd won the auction, I checked out some gameplay for this game and a couple of others that I hadn't heard of. And it looks interesting, but the comments that were being left by the average YouTuber on the video were less than complimentary about it, so maybe it's not very good. But that game is Toxic Crusaders. And the reason why I thought it looked kind of interesting is because it's a side-scroller, essentially. And I love that. I love that kind of genre. It really takes me back. They should release more, honestly. It's funny, isn't it? This generation is kind of all about first-person shooters. And I think that's one of the things, one of the genres, if not the genre, that it'll be remembered for. But I just wish they'd bring back more side-scrolling fighters, like Streets of Rage or Final Fight and all that kind of stuff. Or shooters, for that matter. I'm sure people would buy it. Anyway, next one up, Sonic Spinball. I remember playing this one on the PAL system. It was alright, but I was never totally enamoured by it, if I'm honest. And there's three more. Mickey Mouse, World of Illusion. Or just World of Illusion, starring Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck. Again, one which I was a kid when it came out, so I don't mind getting now, but I'd feel a bit silly buying it as an adult. You know, for a modern day system. So yeah, it looks really, really good. Really does. The graphics, the 2D-ness to it all. And two left. First up is Wolverine, Adamantium Rage. That's not a tribute to Adam and the Ants, although that would have been a good game. I'd have bought that one. But no, it's something entirely different. There's the side, and the back, and yeah, just a very colourful, you know, Marvel Comics, or is it Marvel DC, side-scrolling fighter, essentially. Yeah, it looks good, but again, it's another one that I looked at the gameplay, and one or two people were less than complimentary about it, so maybe it's not as good as it looks. And last up, but not least, is Robocop vs Terminator. Now, I've got to be honest, again, I'm not a fan of these red spines. I don't think it really blends well into the grey and the black and the silver. But I guess that's just ultimately personal taste. And the side as well looks a little bit rubbish, but still. Yeah, so I put this one on for about 10-15 minutes, and yeah, it's good. It's not as good as I thought it would be, or as good as I remember it being, but I did enjoy it. And like I said, I just love that side-scrolling element to any game. So that is that. 14 games altogether. So yeah, let's just bring them back into picture. We've got Tasmania, Robocop vs Terminator, Wolverine Adamantium Rage, or Adamant Rage, World of Illusion starring Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck, Sonic Spinball, Toxic Crusaders, The Lion King, Toe Jam and Earl Panic on Funkatron, Outrun, Leaderboard Golf, Miss Pac-Man, World Series Baseball, Sonic 2, see, that annoys me when they do that, and the original Sonic as well. So ultimately, for all that, and the Mega Drive, $40, you can't complain, can you? See you later.